Hello everyone. Today in this session we will learn about partition option and how to use it. So what is partitioning? Basically, partitioning is the database process where a large table are divided into multiple smaller parts, and by splitting a large table into smaller individual tables, queries that access only a fraction of the data can run faster because there is a less data to scan. So the main purpose of the partitioning is to add in maintenance of large table and to reduce the overall response time to read and load the data for a particular SQL operation. So in order to demonstrate you the use case of partition option, I will select an already existing data flow. In this data flow, there is two JDBC components and one flat file. So I will use JDBC1 component without applying any partition option. And in JDBC2 component, I will apply partition option to show you the difference between both of these. And in both of these component, I have selected the same customer table as a dim customer table. And also there is no any difference in select queries between both of these. So let's run JDBC one component without applying any partition option and observe the results. So from this run screen, 18,489 rows are there in the dim customer table, and by default there is only one partition since we have not applied any explicit partition option. In the same way, it has took 6 seconds to execute this query and return us the data, and returned us 3082 rows per second. So this is the result before or without applying a partition option. So now we will apply partition option in JDBC2 component. Here in right side of this component, we get partition option. So we'll click on it, and after that we'll select the type of partition. And based on this, so in this case I'm selecting partition based on column. So based on this column, main table will be splitted into number of partitions we apply below here. So the partition column I am applying here is like customer key, and the number of partition I'm applying is 3. Based on this customer key column, the main table will be splitted into 3 tables, and based on those 3 tables, the execution will happen parallelly innerly and will return us the data. So now let's run this component and observe the data we get. So in the run duration, if you notice, it has taken only 3 seconds to execute and process these datas and load those all amount of datas into our screen. And it has returned 6,163 rows per second while it was loading only 3,082 rows without applying partition. So basically, the partition option reduces the time it takes to execute if you have a large amount of data. So in such scenarios, you can use partition options to reduce the time it takes to execute and load the data.